turn off the chat here. How's everybody doing tonight? Yeah, I'm wearing these glasses. They kind of shadow my eyes the way I've got the... Well, maybe I can fix this. That's maybe just a little bit better there instead of higher up. How's everybody doing tonight? For some reason, my chat box is really... There we go. It's really small on this channel. So I'm going to pop my chat out. And I'm going to wait. I'm going to let everybody come in and say hi. If you want me to say hi, then please say hello. Hello in the chat. And then I can pop it out and it'll say participants. Right? I'm going to change these glasses. They're bugging me. There's a scratch on one lens and the light kind of reflects through the scratch. That's better. Let me get set up here. How's everybody doing today? I just had a sneezing fit a few minutes ago. And I'm going to blow my nose. It always seems that I'm always... But the thing is I don't do it. I don't wait on camera. I don't wait to get on camera before I blow my nose. More often than not, I don't have any nostril hair. Or very little nostril hair. So sneezing and... things make my nose run constantly. Thank you, everybody who has recently purchased my little homestead book, the Back to Basics Homesteading, Canning, Cooking, Recipes, and Neat to Know Stuff book. I do appreciate the support. Now, let me get out the cards. Ooh. You going to watch TV in bed, dear? All right, good night. Say good night, everybody. He's on his way to bed. Huh? Right. Right, okay. How is everybody doing today? All right, let me get these cards out. And I think my hands are okay for these cards tonight. So, now, let's do some smudging. I'm going to dim this down just a little bit. There we go. Do a little bit of smudging. There we go. Oops, don't drop on the cards. Okay. How's everybody doing? Yeah, I went crazy and hacked up my bangs and now they're not working and they're not paying attention to what they're supposed to be doing. So, let me pop out the participants and say hi. Oh. Aloha, Seashell. Mahalo for always being here. Karen L. Benjamin, Celeste, Becky Emerald Skies, Empress Jennifer, Jill V, Kay Dean, Lacey Black, Leanne. It's got to be Kay Dean. Linda Bopp, Hey Honey, Michelle Barnhill, Missouri Bell, Mama Hamble, that's new. Pammy P.S., Sally Starnes. Hi, it's been a while. Teresa Pomerlo, Tigger Bouncin, Trudy W, and Willow's Garden. How's it going, everybody? How's everybody doing tonight? I've had a busy day. I peeled a bunch of apples and got them in the dehydrator and made a decision that, oh God, I got to brush my hair. I'm sorry, folks. It's, you know, at this time of day, yeah, I cut my bangs and they're all going like, wee, wee, you know, wee, doing their own thing. Hi, Jennifer Jacks. Jiminy Crickets, Jennifer Jacks, you make my heart go clickety-clack. It's supposed to be Jiminy Cricket, Jiminy Jacks, but I like the fact that the name... Hey, Throwback, how's it going? Oh, wow. I just had like a shift, a bone shift or something in my chest go with that last brushing movement. Hi, Cheryl Altamare. How's it going? How are things doing today? All right. See what I mean? I cut my bangs. If they were wet, you would see that they're not too bad, but yeah, don't look at my hair. What's the difference between a good haircut and a bad hair? Howard, what's the difference between a good haircut and a bad haircut? 2 weeks. In my case, a week. So, what? You didn't notice? I know, I trimmed my bangs and I made a mess of it. It's no big deal. 2 weeks. So, Missouri Belle doesn't know anything about your book. Please explain. Howie, have you got clothes on? Hang on, folks. And it's easy when it's hard to get good fresh apples, right? Did you like sage or something? Yeah, I did. Yes, I saged. Yes. Makes me think of Arizona. Yes. The smell of sage. Yeah. Okay, now. There's a little story that goes along with this book. I wrote this book in 2015, actually 2014, and I published it in 2015 through Blurb. Never has clothes on, damn it. He's walking around in his boxers. He just doesn't want to show off. A towel. A towel? Okay, come on. Give the girls a look. No, now I'm completely naked. Oh, now you're completely... Howard, come on. I still got to work. Don't be teasing me. Anyway, somebody asked me to write a book, and I did. And that was 8 years ago, somewhere around there. And I don't have the book. This is the only copy I have. I did it through a third-party publisher called Blurb. And I used writing software. So somebody asked me if I could just print them off a copy and sell it, like print it off like PDF and sell it to them for cash. I can't. I don't have it. I don't even have the blueprints to it, right? But somebody a couple of weeks ago, I'd forgotten about it. I use it, but I'd forgotten about it. And somebody a couple of weeks ago, back in mid-August, so it's been almost a month ago, told me, oh, you should write a cookbook. I said, well, I have one. They said, you do? Where? So I showed them. But I realized all this time is telling people I have a cookbook does no good. This isn't just a cookbook. It's called Recipes, Canning, Dehydrating, and Need-to-Know Stuff. What it should have been called was Homesteading Back to Basics for the Kitchen. Because what this book does, okay, and it's expensive. It is. And I only, I make $5 a copy. That's all I make. Okay. Anything less would do me no good. I couldn't even, whatever, right? So the contents are recipes, chapter 1. The stuff you need to know first. Now, there's stuff you need to know first, which tells you how to make simple syrups, pie pastry, basic stocks and broths, and egg noodles. Those are all, and bechamel sauce. These are all pretty prevalent in all of my canning recipes. And I answer the same questions over and over again. Do you use a heavy syrup? What's the difference between heavy, medium, light, blah, 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 right? The second chapter is what's for supper. And those are just some of my favorite recipes, like ham and egg pie. It's not a quiche. It's a ham and egg pie. And a couple other recipes. Then there is make it ahead and freeze it. Meatloaf, meatballs, hash brown patties, and Parmesan Duchess potatoes. There's a chapter on soups, a chapter on baking with some of my favorite recipes. There's There's a basic bread recipe, water bath canning, pressure canning meat, dehydrating, and the need to know stuff chapter is all about rendering lard and suet, basic hot process soap, homemade laundry soap, suet cakes for chickens, no scrub tub cleaner, making potato starch and rapid peeling tomatoes and spice blends. Okay, so it starts you with telling you about how to make pastry, basic bread, simple syrups, gives you recipes, canning recipes, and spice blends and rubs and stuff like that, right? And people have been asking me to write a new one. And I already have a list of things that have to be in it, but I just don't have the time this minute. So sometime around January, I'm going to start working on it because January is my slow time of year. Hey, J&B. So that's what it is. That's what it is. I'm not asking anybody to buy it. I'm just saying it's there. In all of my videos for the last few weeks, I've been putting a description and the link to my Patreon, a description and a link to this book, a description and a link to my Rumble channels and things like that, right? Because I had one person today say that they've made up their mind. They're going to be deleting YouTube and they're going to go through all their favorite content creators on YouTube, find out if they have other channels elsewhere. And then they're going to follow them there and then delete YouTube because they really are not happy with its censorship. Because, you know, I'm here all the time, but you don't get the full me because there's a lot of things I'm not allowed to talk about. Hi, Ninja Clan Kathy. How's it going? Lizzie Black. I recall reading Gladys Tabor saying writing her cookbook was so much more work than her other writing. Well, it is a lot of work. It took me a year to write that little wee book. But now that I know what I'm up against, and it's not so much writing the book. There's usually 3. So, thank you, darling. Thank you. Hey, Channel 23. So, now I forget what I was talking about. But I used an online book writing format that helped me lay it all out. Like I didn't just sit down and write it and then enter pictures. You've got to enter it into the right size of the page, where you put your photos. You got to pick your font. The layout of this took me a year. I already knew all what I want to put in it. Thank you. So, is there a big difference in covers? I couldn't see a difference in it when I was looking at it. I just shared it to homesteading groups. Well, you can get the paperback copy, which is cheaper, right? You can get the paperback copy. Like people saying, but I want it autographed. I said, I don't have them here. But I am going to be starting another one in the new year, and it's going to be along the lines of what my grandmother would say or what my grandmother would tell you to do. So, what's going on, Jill? I missed something. Prayers, please, for my oldest son. He ran over his pup today. Oh, the poor baby. And he must feel so horrible. Oh, that's terrible. I cried just taking my cat to get fixed. Oh, and I took Gracie to get fixed. It was, but they laughed when she came out because she come out like la, 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 la. And they said, look, and I said, what? She said her forehead, she doesn't have any wrinkles because she was like from the stuff. God love them. Well, I absolutely prayers, many prayers. make your computer just basic and sell as many PDF by email, and we can pay you directly and you make money immediately. So I don't have it on format. I don't. The closest I could do would be to photocopy it. And my printer isn't up to the task. I'm sorry. I've made it as cheap as possible. I think you can get the cheaper copy if you get paperback instead of hardcover. Right? And I am going to look at cheaper options for printing the next one. Okay? Ah, I see. Well, I don't know. No, I don't have a cat. I haven't had a cat for years. Boris was our one and only cat. Well, we had another one, but we had to, she took off on us. So print on demand. Oh, the new book. Ah, okay. Well, I'm not even there yet. I just finished the Little House Live series today and, or yesterday. And I'm doing a live at 9:15, just saying, you know, see you in the spring kind of thing. Angie's got enough stuff on her own plate and she lives 3 hours away. So no, I don't, my life is busy as it is. So I have to do things in the time I allot myself. For instance, I have from now until Halloween to finish my harvest and all my canning. And then I'm going to be getting ready for the holidays. I know you guys, the Americans, get your Thanksgiving the month before Christmas. We get ours the second Monday in October. So between harvest and Halloween, we get Thanksgiving right in the middle. And then I'm off and running between Halloween and Christmas, right? And I wrote this. Yeah, I did. I wrote this like, you know, in 2015. So what, 9 years ago. So, but anyway, since going, yeah. Anyway, Jill, I've removed that. Please don't mention it again. Okay? Because that's got nothing to do with right now. And no, nothing has happened. Ebooks. Anyway, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm even going to look at a different, but I want to stay with Blurb for the simple reason is everybody knows where that is, so to speak. I'd like to figure out how to sell it on Amazon. I would. Anyway, so that's what's going on. I've got a dehydrator full of apple slices, and I'm going to be looking this weekend for deer carrots, deer apples, plus we're doing a major shopping, I think, at Costco. So I always wish US would change to your October date. Our Thanksgiving is becoming just shopping and football. You know, you can have it anytime you want. You can. You can celebrate it a whole month ahead if you want. Because just because there's a day for it, it doesn't, you see, I celebrate Thanksgiving every day with myself. I'm grateful every time and thankful for the harvest. Every time I harvested those apples today and I got a full dehydrator full, I'm thankful because that's, none of my trees have produced for a while, but that one just produced me like 20 apples this year. You know, I'm thankful that I was able to save my cabbage. I'm thankful I got the tomatoes I did. Thanksgiving is just an agreement that everybody's supposed to sit down and be thankful for the harvest. Well, that's all Thanksgiving. That's what, and I really don't like it being called Thanksgiving in Canada. For the simple reason is people assume everywhere else in the world that we celebrate Thanksgiving like y'all do. And we don't. We don't have pilgrims and, Indians and all that stuff and parched corn and all these things. Ours is just a celebration of the harvest. And in Canada, that's like October because it's almost pretty much done by then. I don't celebrate holidays. I make my own. I celebrate Christmas before and after Christmas. Was the swarms good? Oh, the shawarmas. Oh, yeah, that's very good. Gracie got some garlic potatoes. Of course she did. Well, where are you from, Minette? Hi, how's it going? I think demonstrating gratitude with the littles is important. Absolutely. Thanksgiving at my house has become 2 days of frantic cooking and 20 minutes of gobbling it all down. Italy. So ours comes more the Canadian version of Thanksgiving is lost in the great big hullabaloo that is the American Thanksgiving. So whenever I go, oh, happy Thanksgiving, everybody goes, what? You're over a month early. It's like, no, I'm not. So I don't say happy Thanksgiving. I call it harvest home supper. And that's truer to what it is, which is an old English tradition where everybody would gather after the harvest was in. The man who owned the property had a great big public supper for all his workers and laborers. And the lady of the house would make sure that, there was lots of harvest beer and bread and everything that they had worked on, whether it was porks and cattle and dairy and grain and gardens. There was a sample of everything on the laden table. And everybody gave thanks for the harvest. That's more what Canada is, Some people who are against Halloween, I understand. I understand that a lot of things that used to be very dark have been trivialized. But Halloween, in reality, is when the veil between the living and the crossed over is the thinnest. And people, kids, they used to, do you know what the jack-o'-lantern stands for? Or the turnip parade, they used to call it in England. You carve a face, you hollow it out, you carve a face, you put the candle in it, and it's got to be a real candle, not a light. You put a candle in it, and you put it in the window or on your porch, so that if any wandering spirits come by, they know you're a friend and they pass you by. Pretty much. The original New Year's, yeah. Hey, Julie. Yes, some people pronounce it Samhain. Some people pronounce it Samhain. The season of gratitude. It's right. And so it's always kind of pissed me off that even in school, we did the turkeys and all that stuff. It always confused me why on watching TV, there'd be pilgrim hats and stuff like that. And nobody ever completely explained the difference to me. So that's why I make a point of explaining the difference between the harvest home supper, which is Canada Thanksgiving, and American Thanksgiving, which is all about pilgrims and Indians and stuff. The turkey's the same. And we have turkey usually both Christmas and the harvest supper. Why? Because it's 2 months apart. So who wants turkey 2 months in a row, right? I like Halloween. I do not like, honestly, the kids being beggars. Well, I mean, that's not begging. That's just being a child, right? I saw a thing on Facebook that said, if an 18-year-old comes to your door or a 17-year-old comes to your door knocking trick-or-treating, rather than telling him he's too old for it, celebrate the fact that they're celebrating the child within themselves and fork over the Snickers. You know why? Because they're trick-or-treating. They're not out doing drugs or being assholes on the street. They're being kids. And you know why I say fork over the Snickers? Because my kid, how old was Briar the last time he went trick-or-treating?
15.
16? 15, 16 years old. And you know what? He'd go to the dollar store and he'd get feather boas and funky glasses and all kinds of stuff.
Sherry brought me Mars bars.
When?
At work.
I'm going to keep my eye on that woman. She gives you much more. She's a sweetheart. She really is. So I make a goose for Christmas. We had goose. I don't know how to make goose. We couldn't even get all the feathers plucked out of it. I mean, we never did figure out how to pluck a goose. I never want to see a goose again. Unless I'm starving, and then I will gladly skin the sucker. I just celebrate fall and Christmas. Well, one of the wonderful things about, like everyone's saying, like the apples I peeled today and the cores, they're going to go out and go over across the driveway by our fire pit and where we park the coach for the winter. Because we get deer come across there in the wintertime. And so I want to, I leave every time stuff gets thrown into the compost pile in our ravine, right? I don't bury it. Why? Because there's raccoons and there's porcupines and squirrels and deer and all kinds of stuff that are getting ready for winter too. I just make sure that it doesn't get left on the front porch for the raccoons to have a party in. My guy cleans it for me. So, I mean, for me, yes, I'm busy. It's harvest season and I'm constantly going. But the thing is I never stop being grateful forever. Like I'm going to be harvesting my carrots soon and I can't wait. And I'm really hoping to go out and get deer carrots this weekend to get some more potatoes. And I'm even decided I'm going to get, if I can get it, I'm going to get a 30-pound bag of deer apples because if they're in good shape, because I like having dried sliced apples because I eat apples all winter long. And sometimes you either don't have the money or the apples are not good quality enough. Happy autumnal equinox. There we go, Seashell. Actually, it's going to be my brother Bob's birthday in 3 days. He's going to be, is this 2023? He's going to be 62. He's going to be 62. I got 2 bushels of onions to do tomorrow. Oh, yeah, I got my onions to do. I only have like a shoebox full, or a little bit more in the shoebox. But I've been letting them dry out outside, but I'm going to have to bring them in and put them in a silk stocking. Not a silk stocking. I use knee highs. And onion knot. And I hang it. And every time I need an onion, I just cut it off below the knot. My cat has decided to have a sugar rush, it seems. Zoomies! Oh, it's been into the catnip. Hi, Laura. How are you? Michelle, at age 14, my daughter just got the good variety candy bags from us and stayed home. This year, she's going with her best friends, all Powerpuff Girls. Good for her. I'm actually going to be making Bubba's costume on Thanksgiving. I have to actually I made the costume for Briar a long time ago, but I have less fabric, so I've got to plan it properly, right? My name is Tony. I'm from Springfield, Missouri. Hi, Tony from Springfield. I love the autumn. I do decks with dried seed heads and then add different things. I'm too busy. But you know what? I'm going to take a picture of my garden for you guys. Somebody gave me Cracker Jack marigolds and said, they get ginormous. And I didn't believe it. They are 3 feet tall. And they just, I look out my back window and it's just a glory of autumn colors from all these Cracker Jack marigolds. So I think next year I'm going to find a tub of some kind maybe I'll use I don't know, but I'm going to plant some Cracker Jack marigolds next year. I'm going to get a bed just for them because they were just so glorious. Last year, my shorter ones, I transplanted and brought them up into the front gardens after I harvested the tomatoes. But maybe I'll do that again. Hey, Terry Luskovich, how's it going? Lukasevich. I always have trouble. Oh, he broke his leg. Oh, honey, is he healing? Is he okay? I've got a peck and a quarter onions left to chop. I haven't even done onions yet. I'm used to going to Maxi and getting like 10-pound bags of onions, 10-pound bags of potatoes, you know what I mean? Their potatoes are $5 for a 10-pound bag. I want to go to the farmer's market this weekend. So we shall see. Finally finished with the boot. Oh, thank God. Is he doing physio for it? Like, was it was his lower leg, I take it. Hey, crazy Grandma Wheeze, how's it going? Always late to the party. Oh, and he can do stuff now that the boot's gone. Oh, that's good. That's good. So I'm really looking forward to, oh, and my beans. I dare not go out in the garden because if I go out in the garden, I'm going to want to look for beans for supper. And I'm letting them all go to seed. So, well, we're here pretty much every Thursday night unless I've got a migraine or something, which isn't very often at all. Welcome all new live streamers and subscribers to the chat group. That's right. I've decided to go all out for Thanksgiving and Christmas this year. Good for you, Joe. You know what? You got a lot to be grateful for, don't we? We got a lot to be grateful for. Oh my God. I got to tell you, Joe, I'm going to be sending you an email. I just about should have rang around myself today. I had a panic attack talking to Revenue Quebec. But we have a lot to be thankful for. And even though I got hit with a financial whammy today, it's going to take me a year to clear away, I'm grateful that that's possible, right? There was a time in our lives when all I could do was put off bill collectors before we went bankrupt. And even now, when a surprise hits, it's manageable. It just means I don't get a new computer this year. That's all. So I want to see the marigolds. Sounds like something I want to go. Well, you know what? I will do a little video. I'll go out in the garden tomorrow and do a little video because I want to check on my watermelons anyway. Baking soda and water. What's going on? Sour stomach. Baking soda and water. I don't know. I don't know what's good for sour stomach. Haven't a clue. Because I get it so rarely, but when I do get it, it's just, bleh. You know, I just drink a lot of water. A lot of water. Peppermint helps with an upset tummy. That's true. That's true. But yeah, it's getting to that time. It's hard to believe it's almost October. It's almost October. It's so hard to believe. Sometimes a good old-fashioned Sprite or seltzer water helps with sour stomach. That's good. Got a pumpkin pumpkin at Walmart to roast and then can. I still got pumpkin in my pantry from last year. And the year before. I'm not, because this is 2 years in a row I've grown zucchini, and I ain't growing any next year. I ain't growing any zucchini next year. Okay, maybe one bed. But I love making my own pumpkin puree. It's much better than canned. Well, see, I just cube it and blanch it and can it in water. And then I pour the water off and I mash it and into the pie it goes. A few almonds and a little bit of milk works. Oh, that sounds good. Ginger. There you go. 32 days till you're 59, Lena K. And I'm 4 months away from being 60. I wanted to get a new computer, but I've decided I need a new bed more than a new computer. Oh no, I need a new computer. This thing is down to 3 USB ports out of 7. And I've got splitters on them, and there's just programs that just say, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to do that. It's just getting stubborn. Pumpkin snickerdoodles. I'm going to give it a try. I never understood everybody's excitement over snickerdoodles. To me, it just kind of looks like sugar cookies with a cinnamon swirl in them. Now, pet the sir. Ooh, good stuff. Maybe I should make some. They're like a cinnamon roll, but they're made with pastry. And do you know what pet the sar means? I'm looking 69 in the eye. Good for you. Hey, Tina, how are you, darling? Give me a chocolate chip cookie over a snickerdoodle. You're all baby, says Stacy. What are you, 90? Come on. Anybody at this point in life who's reached 55 plus deserves applause as far as I'm concerned. But I think I'm going to make my own version of Pet This Are. Some make cinnamon rolls. See, when we were little and my mom would make pies, and she only made pies for the holidays, Thanksgiving and Christmas. And she would take all the leftover pastry and she would roll it out. And she would put butter and cinnamon and sugar and then roll it up and then cut them and then bake them. And they were like cinnamon rolls. Now cinnamon rolls are made with like sweetbread dough and got icing on the top and stuff. But my mother's cinnamon rolls were closer to Pet des Arts that they do here in Quebec, which is pastry that's rolled out, buttered, cinnamon, sugared, rolled up and cut and baked into cookies. Right? So I got to write this down because this is such a great idea. And does anybody not know what Pet des Arts actually means? Pet des Arts. With. Yeah, that's going to work beautiful. I'm getting the urge to bake. That's how it is. Pet des Arts means nun's fart. No, excuse me. Fart of sister. Sister's fart. But everyone calls them nun's farts. Because they're a tight little spiral going. Yeah. Yeah. It's nun's farts. But I think I'm going to try some new recipes this year for Christmas. I'm not going to do the same old snowballs. I might make a recipe of I'm going to have to make recipes of snowballs and shortbread. Because at this point in my life, everybody expects them. Not Arthur, not even Briar. Howie's work. Howie says, you got to make a platter for the guys at work. I don't even know half these people, right? He's changed jobs so many times in the last few years that I just give him a platter of Christmas stuff, say, take it in, right? I turned 62 in July this year. My body is broken, but my brain, listen, Lori, my mind are shrapnel as attack. You mean sharp as attack? Shrapnel is flying pieces of sharp debris. Hey, Nat, how's it going? Hi, Timothy. I always make baklava. I have never attempted baklava. I know it takes hours. Yeah, I know it takes hours. You're talking 100 layers of phyllo pastry with sliced almonds and honey, basically, isn't it? And you just bake it like that. You'll be 64 in January. Are we in the same area of birthday, or are you beginning or late? Shrapnel. Hey, Snowbella. All right, so are you a Capricorn or are you an Aquarius? Sharp as attack. That's right. And so much better. But anyway, so I've got some plans this year. I'm going to make my version of Pet Desar. I'm going to do my twist on Pet Desar this year. Scorpio, so my birthday is soon. Which power bank do you recommend for pop-up camper? Oh, the biggest one you can. They're all roughly the same size except for the Blue Eddy. But I'll tell you something. My son, we gave Arthur and Mel the 1200 watt Opes. And Arthur and Mel, they're working on the house and they had to have all the electrical redone. And so that ran his fridge for an entire day, a full-size refrigerator. It ran a full-size refrigerator for a full day. So when we're in the camper, we are in the motorhome, we use the A-Free, which is 2000 watts, and that runs our TV and a fan while we watch TV, so we don't have to turn on the air conditioner or the generator, and we use the Blue Eddy for charging our phones. So I'm telling you, they're such a good thing to have that I said to Howard, like, we have baseboard heaters in the basement, and he has to redo the floor downstairs in the living room because something has gone wrong, and he's got to pull that up and blah, 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 blah. So I said to Howie, we need to get a pellet stove down there, because to get a wood stove down there, A, you got to carry the wood all the way down the stairs or down the hill and in the back door. And B, that's $1,500 worth just a chimney alone, let alone another wood stove. So if we get a pellet stove, if the power goes out, see, the only problem with the power going out for more than 24 hours is downstairs starts to get cold really quick. So if we get a pellet stove or a corn pellet stove, they have a very minimal chimney that goes out, that vents out the wall. They have a little firebox like this big, and the only electricity they need is to run the little fan. So if the power goes out, or we don't want to run all the baseboards, we can plug that pellet stove in, and if the power goes out, we just plug it right into one of the power stations, right? What's going on? Wait a minute. What's going on? Hi, Minnesota farmer's wife, Julie. What's going on with Linda? What did I miss? Hard to type with this 40-pound dog. Did I miss something? I love you and are sending prayers. What Linda? Because there's more than one Linda here. What's going on? Did I miss something? I hate scrolling back, having to scroll back. I'm sure I know, but it was funny, right? I'm as shrapnel as attack. It's fun. Come on, you got to admit it. My mom has a dandy little space heater on wheels that looks like a fireplace. I wonder if that would work in your state. You mean downstairs? No. Do we still have the electric fireplace downstairs? I sold it. That was a pain in the ass. I've had more than one electric fireplace. We sold one when we were in Arizona. We had one down there too. And the thing is they actually require too much, because they have an element in them. They require too much electricity to be run on a power station for heating. But if we got a pellet stove, it only runs one little fan, and it has the whole point of the pellet stove is it creates a lot of heat in a very little space. And one little fan that, the heat. It's a good idea, eh, dear? I think that's what we're going to do. Oh, Linda has her puppy on her lap. Oh, how is it? How is it, baby? How is it, Luca? I'm saving for a propane fireplace insert. See, the way our government's going with carbon taxes and stuff, I hesitate to do anything with fossil fuels. They're already trying to convince people that gas stoves cause asthma. No word of a lie. I haven't heard anything like, it's kind of like, because I mean, I was raised in a house that had a coal furnace and a gas stove and never once had asthma. Right? Both my parents smoked. I was surprised they survived. But we have the wood stove upstairs, and I'm actually, if Howie's going to redo the floor down there, I want to find it. I think we should put one right in the corner, right? So that it can blow out, and warm the space. But we'll see. I know I'd love a gas stove, because we were thinking at one point of getting a Generac, like a whole house generator in case the power goes out as we get older. But the problem with that is it's like 15 grand, because you got to have a concrete pad poured. You got to have the propane brought in, and then they rewire your whole house. It's like 15 grand here to do that. And then the propane's really expensive, right? But if I have these power stations, now that we were not going to be using the motorhome anymore this year, we have these power stations. We have one in the living room. And the thing is you don't want to use them all the time and then just, oh, it's a great idea. Use it and then charge it up in the sun. Don't do that. Use it only when necessary, because they do have a lifespan of how many times they can be recharged. It's like, what, 1,500 charges, dear? Something like that, right? So I would really do save it for the little Blue Eddy's going to be in the bedroom in case the power goes out. And we can, we charge our phones and run a light. I got one for the living room. So I have, I got 3 of them. Yeah. And I gave Arthur and Mel one. So what? You missed my birthday and it's tomorrow. How could I have missed it if it's tomorrow? How could I have missed it if it's tomorrow? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, sweet Annie. Happy birthday to you. And many more. I haven't sang happy birthday to anybody in a long time. I'm surprised I survived. Yeah, really. General uses natural and propane gas. So, I mean, I would rather have a corn pellet stove. Yes, you have to buy the stuff, but we'll see. You're welcome, honey. And thank you. Don't think I didn't forget this afternoon. Anyway, folks, I have to get ready. I'm going over to Little House Live to thank everybody for making Little House Live so special. It's going to come back, but not until fan season. It's now getting quiet enough that after harvest, I can start recording Little Women. So now comes the time that we share some spiritual blessings. This isn't for everybody. Well, we offer it to everybody, but the thing is not everybody believes the same way. And it's not about everybody believing the same way. It's about everybody coming together with the faith of their choice, or the faith that fuels, that supports their beliefs and their happiness and their contentment. And we drop all the rules that religion have slammed between us, and we reach out our hearts and our hands, and we come together in the light of God's love. Because what it all boils down to is that pretty much that's all there is, right? God's love. Everything else is just 50 shades of gray to black, right? Love and fear. Everything negative comes from fear, and all faith. And God is love, as far as I'm concerned. So you tap into your faith. I'll tap into mine, but we're going to come together. Take care. God bless. I love you. And if you don't want to stay, there's no judgment. Mwah. Take care. I love you. But for the rest of us, if you would help me do a few deep breaths to clear out, we're going to breathe in love and breathe out fear. We're going to breathe in light and breathe out any sludge that may be clinging to our psyches from the week. And then we're going to just breathe in love and breathe out love, because in and out. I heard something recently that when they said God had a name, and people, it was, I got to write this down because I got to remember. It's spelled YWH. And people put the vowels in of E and A to make it come out saying Yahweh. But in reality, if you leave the vowels out of it, it comes out pronounced like this. So if you think about this, every breath you take, you're saying God's name. Isn't that amazing? So I really, really love that. So when we, because every breath we take, we are reaching out to God and we don't even know it. And that's why I think it's so important that we filter reactions through love and do our best not to be negative. Because if we're breathing and we're being negative, we're basically throwing God's love right back in his face. Isn't that wild? Holy harmony, it is exactly what you're talking about. Oh, send it to me, honey. Like, send me a link. All right. So for all those that care to, let's do some deep breathing and some cleansing imagery of your choice. You do yours. I'll do mine. But remember, every breath you take, you're breathing in. You're taking a breath and you're breathing out God's name. Every breath you take and expel. All right. Hey, God, creator, one source of all. Thank you for every breath I take. Thank you for my friends and family here and across the internet as we come together and we share in love and ideas and support and all those things that actually create a community. And just because we can't see each other, well, they can see me. You have pointed out to me, gracious God, that my heart can see people too. I don't need my eyes for that. So thank you, God. And God, we want to lift up all the people that are struggling today, and thank you. Thank you for helping me handle my crisis today with dignity and relief, the relief that came of a job well done. So thank you, God. But there's a lot of people that are struggling with fear and anger and illness and family and friend backlash and fires and diseases and all these things that are going on in the world that are trying to distract us from the solution. And the solution is always the light of God's love. Because your light is so pure, God. Your love is so pure and so light that everything else is pushed back before its presence. So God, we thank you for bringing us together in this community of love, laughter, light, and support. And we ask, God, that you look after everybody who's struggling. People who've, are feeling guilty, know that, you know, people that are, you know, blaming themselves for things and stuff like that. God, we know everything happens for a reason, even if it's only to make us aware of something else. So God, thank you. I'm blessed every day with this community and with your love. So thank you for that. Amen. Shalom. Namaste. Peace be with you. Merry meet, merry part, blessed be. Walk in the shining light of God's love. Whatever language you use to speak to the source of your faith, love is always the best received. All right. Take care. God bless. And we will see you on Sunday. Mwah! I love you guys.